Hey, my name is Ivan, and as a Hong Kong kid, we rarely read anymore. Ever since smartphones were a common thing, most kids just resort to TV or YouTube or things like that. But there are still some really popular book series out there. I grew up with one in particular. 大偵探福爾摩斯, known in English as The Great Detective Sherlock Holmes, was one of my all-time favorite book series. Look at my sweet collection! And with every successful book series, seemingly has to come with a movie adaptation that is usually completely garbage. But not this movie. Sherlock Holmes and the Great Escape, also known in Hong Kong as Sherlock Holmes and the Greatest Jailbreaker, came out in Hong Kong theatrically in 2019 and worldwide in 2020, I think. I don't really know. And as a 13-year-old kid that still loves Sherlock Holmes to death, I was super excited for this movie. Mostly because I've been dreaming for a cartoon adaptation for this for a long time. And the movie itself is amazing. Now, first of all, spoilers. I really encourage you to watch it yourself. Trust me, go watch it and come back. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5. Okay, first of all, the entire plot of the film was great. It crammed together 2 books, The Greatest Jailbreaker 1 and its sequel, and the pacing still manages to be just right. And I really loved Sherlock's depression during the film. After he catches Mac in front of Katie, that was great. The entire world seemed to be bent. Clear skies now raining and thundering. Vibrant colors now seemingly dark and dull. The scenery perfectly illustrates Sherlock's feeling right now. It's guilt. He's guilty for catching Mac in front of his daughter, and the world seems to mock him for this too. So when the time skip happens, Sherlock tries to avoid the same thing happening at Katie's wedding.
If Rilla and Fox were to discover this, they would wreak havoc at the wedding. This I am certain. Misleading a detective, and then assisting a known fugitive. These are felonies. This is my burden. So I feel I owe it to Mac and his daughter.
Character development! There's character development in a film for kids! That is respect. True respect. And I also really liked Mac's overall story in this, being a chivalry. Being a chivalrous thief who steals to aid the poor, staying away from his daughter to protect her, only to realize he wasn't doing the right thing.
I thought I was doing the right thing. Until that last time.
Would you like some cake? I nicked them both. How amazing am I, huh? I'm amazing. Look at this purse. Snatched.
But you couldn't have snatched it if I hadn't lent you my knife.
You are amazing.
Of course I am. And don't you forget.
That really broke my heart. Turns out I had only helped nourish their bodies. But their souls were eaten away. Children should not idolize a thief. Truth be told, Mr. Holmes, I should be thanking you for arresting me.
Children are following in his footsteps and learning to steal. Mac realizes that children should not be idolizing a thief, and that he has a bad impression on them. So that's why he decides to retire after Katie's birthday, only to be caught by Sherlock the same day in front of Katie.
Are you done? Want to embarrass yourself in front of your daughter?
Gotcha! It's just...
Sir!
Since this is your first offense, the judge will likely give you a lighter sentence. Maybe just 10 years or so.
Do you see why I love this film? It plays with your emotions. It literally plays with your emotions. Emotions that somehow the books even fail to deliver. Honestly, this movie makes me want a remastered version of the Greatest Jailbreaker books. And even though I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, there are some flaws. I personally found the middle part where everyone is investigating Mac's escape to be a little too slow and boring. Even with the different art styles and the jokes that are crammed in there, I think it's just a little bit unbearable. It's boring. Really boring. I think that is inevitable in detective movies. The investigating part is always going to be boring no matter what. But that is almost immediately fixed by the next scene, when Sherlock finally explains his thought.
Here's my deduction.
That scene with the different art style and the music, perfection. It's almost exactly how I imagine Sherlock would talk in the books. Perfection, indeed. And Scarface's escape was kind of forced. I mean, it's not bad. It just seems that he escaped because he needed to escape and the film needed a villain. And it feels like if he really wanted to escape, he could have done it any time, which, yeah, it still feels a little too easy. But I love this jump scare later when he hijacks the frickin' wedding wagon. That genuinely made me jump in the theater and still jump in my second watch. And that is a perfect lead into my next topic, the fight scenes. They are amazing. While not very showy and effects heavy, the fights feel real and has great choreography. I especially liked the chase between Sherlock and Scarface. Man, the scene where he theorizes which way to go, left or right, I really like how it's shown. It's so creative and kind of groundbreaking that the film straight up lies to you. Sherlock first takes the left route, which ultimately fails, but then it reveals that it was all in his head the whole time, and the time rewinds to show that he was theorizing that all along. That is so cool, and they do it again with the second route. So, in the end, Sherlock realizes that
No, both ways are not good.
and that is super clever, amazing, and I love it. That's probably one of my favorite things in this movie. But the climax was a little hard to describe. It felt much better rewatching it as a bigger man-child. I didn't like it when I first saw it in theaters because I thought it was a little bit anticlimactic, but now watching it, it's absolutely amazing. The stakes are great, the action is just amazing. The only reason I didn't like it was it felt too short. But now I absolutely loved it. And also the way Mac tarnished himself in front of the kid was just the cherry on top.
My generosity was an act. I fooled the world that I was a noble thief. Only children would believe such a sham.
Ending his character arc and giving the satisfying conclusion of the story. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the English dub in a Hong Kong movie has more emotion than the Cantonese one. I don't know if it's just me, but the Cantonese dub feels like the tagged on one while the English one is the original dub, which is super weird. I think the English dub is just overall better in terms of acting and the way the lines dialogue is presented. The English dub is better. Now, the post-credits scene of the film clearly sets up for a sequel, with a plot twist that Mr. M, the prominent villain in the book series, may be the one who is pulling the strings behind the entire movie. And please, 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 please give us a sequel. If you were to adapt a book into a movie, I definitely suggest The Phantom Cry. I think that would be a really good story to adapt. If you make a trilogy out of these movies, definitely end it with the Wild West Duel one. That one would be a perfect ending. And also, I love the Bunny side story. Please adapt the Bunny side story. That is an amazing story. And also, there is a mini-movie released in YouTube called The Secret of the Baguette, and it has English subtitles, so I suggest you watch it. I think it's the start of a Sherlock Holmes anime series. I definitely watched that on Netflix.